adoption of the meeting agenda, I just want to say that there was 2 minutes going out. Be my fault because I'm gonna go ahead and amend it, go ahead and, Mr. Rasmussen come in and tell about the second, the common association and that, and bring that in, because I feel those very hard part, but it's not on the agenda, so it didn't do all, we're told we couldn't do it, so that's why you got it second. So we will not have that resignation this evening. So I'm open for a motion to accept the meeting agenda. Oh. Did I hear a second? Motion being seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Carried. Public comments. Anyone at this time, we allow person to present to express their opinion at the time. Because of their words that appears in the agenda, as well as any matter over the body of this jurisdiction. You'll have 2 minutes. You can come forward. We'll allow you to come forward if anyone wishes to speak on anything in public comments. We'll let you come up here because there is no microphone. Anyone from the public wishes to speak at this time, state your name and address, please. And if you just kind of want to file right up along there, and you'll come right after this gentleman here.
Good evening. So I come to you as a constituent, also the sheriff, and city uniform. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a presentation about Connect this evening. I want to make sure that you get accurate information. There's information that is in the packet that you received that's inaccurate. It is regarding the 24/7 program when it was with the sheriff's office. The information claims it was a 10% success rate. That is not correct. What we had was for the 24/7 alcohol program, a 40% success rate, and we had 2,265 individuals go through that program. That is while they're actually in the program. And then in the drug program, it's 636 go through that program with a 17.4% success rate. I want to make sure that you have that accurate information. What we did with both of those programs is we looked at the reoffense rate and whether or not they committed another or had contact actually with law enforcement, and alcohol was a factor in that contact. So we went through 2,265 individuals, went to CCAP, and then went to reports that were done by our agency, all the agencies in Winnebago County and outside. And what we had was 2011 to 2016, an 80% reoffense rate, and in 2019 to 2020, a 5% reoffense rate, which is much better than what the state was having when it came to reoffense rates for these types of programs. Wanted to clarify that. Also that the program did create legislation in the state of Wisconsin that allows judges to place people on the 24/7 program instead of having an ignition interlock device, because it deals with their alcohol problem, not their driving. So I wanted to clarify that, and that's all. Thank you.
Hey, boss. My name is Wayne Kukowski. I'm here on behalf of the Hancock here. I'll read this statement, which I have no problem doing because I told you the statement. I'm a Democratic candidate for the state of 17 which is the Winnebago of Southern Massachusetts. I've been knocking a lot of doors, and this is basically what I can tell folks. A lot of people already know all this, but it's good to increase public knowledge. We'll know August 2024 constitutional amendment questions. Second time around, they passed this thing. They're trying to work constitutions that we must know. Every race, background, zip code, this Wisconsin actually for practice taking care of. Whether it's help shovel a neighbor's or disposal harm, operating shop care, times of need, we're supporting local businesses we stand up. We expect our government to do the same with their tax, but agree to Wisconsin needs a need. Unfortunately, the proposed constitutional amendment which was on this ballot is threatening to the big federal tax we rely on during times of crisis. Our federal tax potential, everything from farmers to small businesses to
Is this county business?
You're representing Winnebago County, that's certainly the beneficial background. One of Winnebago County, they did your judge line.
there. Our federal tax dollars are essential, supporting everything from farmers to small businesses to food banks and education. Adding unnecessary red tape will only slow down the process, keeping crucial resources reaching those in need. We must ensure that our governor can allocate these funds efficiently and effectively. Lawmakers serving under gerrymandered, non-representative voting maps pass knee-jerk laws that hinders our governor's ability to act. This August, join us voting no on both constitutional amendment questions to maintain a just, efficient, and timely distribution of federal funds. Process for all Wisconsinites. Don't let the legislator create obstacles for our communities and play partisan games with our money. We can't afford delays when crisis and disasters strike. We've seen that recently with the flooding. Vote no this August to protect our communities and ensure our governor can continue to provide. Okay, this is a vote no Wisconsin on both constitutional amendments. Together, we can keep Wisconsin moving. God bless America.
Permit 4608 County Road E. Me and my neighbor's been dealing with this, ditch issue. Winnebago County approved, sanitary district to put in sewer and water lines, and what they did is they hit an artesian well. And it's flooding our ditches and it's causing our flooding, some of the residents, my neighbors had to put in 2 sump pumps to try to stop water from coming in. They went as far as putting generators on their houses, so that was all they get the water going in. What I'm here for is, I've been on this mission for 2021 or so. I go over a lot of committee meetings, highway committee meetings. And I was pushing for them to get some of the money from the Spirit Fund to do this drainage. And the problem we're having is the highway department didn't want to apply for any of this money. And then the other week, to the Land and Water Committee meeting because they got drainage. And I looked through their notes, you know, they're giving money out for replanting crops and stuff like that. And I cannot get any of that money unless you guys change the inner office regulations on the way they're going to spend that money. You guys approve that money, but they will not. And right now, anyways, gonna use it for our ditch problem. And a problem was created by the highway department by signing off on the project in 2009. I've been in contact, and my neighbors have been in contact with state assembly representatives, and they all return their calls. And they even called 1 or 2 of you guys and asked why this, and they called the highway commissioner why this problem ain't being addressed. And we got approved that the many of the highway department approved that they would cut our ditches 4 times a year.
Thank you, Scott, for a minute, 8 minutes.
Can I just go 30 seconds?
I'll give you 1 second.
1 second. So they approved the ditch cutting and they have not come out and cut it. I just asked you guys to get a hold of Bob, let him know that, hey, this problem on me that we created, could we please get the ditch mowing. I know it ain't an easy fix. I know you got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that was to talk about what you're feeding? Anyone else that can talk about what? Anyone else? Is there anyone on?
No.
David, all right, what are the agenda for? Communication from county clerk.
Good evening, everyone. You're going to hear because I have a lot to report. We did receive thank you from the David Albert family. The Winnebago County Board of Supervisors, our family would like to thank you for the help well you sent in memory of David. We miss them, but our memories are carrying us through. David valued the time he was on the county board and the friendships he made. From David Albert family. We have 3 notices of complaints that we referred to the Personnel and Finance Committee. One from Ryan Jansen. 4, this one was for a dog fight from one of the canine unit. A claim to Dustin Grill, who was it was an accident. And then one from Kelly Small, this one was also yeah. The county exec's not able to be with us, tonight. He asked me to read his report. Regarding funds and efforts. In 2021, we reached the first of 6 settlements of the opioid agreement fund lawsuit. Since then, the dollars have been sporadic. We were one of the first counties to allocate these funds. We used the 2021 budget to fund the demand of the next phase by consolidating all our AOE services on one row. This program was moved into the county's budget into the Human Services Department. It was originally designed as a space for diversions, a place where people are hurt in a jail. The new location for these services will be oriented of the Winnebago Department. Moving our services across the street increased the number of participants coming in and following the bond condition. We still managed to lose a few of them. I decided to move these services upstream. I didn't think breaking the law should be a requirement to receive help. Since moving to the orientation of we slowly went from requiring a condition to current day when anyone needed help from walking the door and begin their journey of recovery. You will be given a presentation on the next phase at the top of the business meeting. There are many results in the next phase. Most of these are a part of our phase streets initiative. After many conversations with Derek Mott, specific attorney Spire, and Director Cole, we agreed to evaluate the programs in a comprehensive way. We are setting up agreed upon metrics to evaluate the effectiveness. It's a stand, so we can evaluate these programs in a fair way. Also, we want to reduce efforts of programs. So we will be allocating these resources to the ones that are. The human services and public health to make sure we are being as efficient and effective as we can with our efforts. The man with him, as you may have heard, the way in provincial Canada. We work closely with the University Management, the Sheriff's Department, Highway Corporation Council, and the town during the incident and the days of follow-up. Although we were prepared, there is no need to declare an emergency. The wetlands that we reach out with lay low from manageable level as a team in our county. They did a great job managing the incident on their own. Stay ready to build and respond to it. I am thankful for our efforts coordinating the ready if the need arose. Regarding the budget, our budget adoption process is underway. Given when we story and cost allocations, I am excited for the new budget to take shape and a comprehensive government. This project is not a one-off or a snapshot. This will be how we should look at budgeting going forward. This is the best way to show what we do when it costs. For us to be competitive in the labor market, we must show meaningful movement along the range of our employees. People are our number one resource, and people are expensive. Our work is the largest cost, and rightfully so. We can meet the challenge of that if we work together as a team. If we can all understand the basics of what our departments do, we can find synergies, cost savings, and a willingness to give out some of what we do to serve a higher and better use within our schools and county, and not just the department. We are one company and it needs to. This process is designed to ensure we are being responsible with the which are becoming increasingly stretched through rising inflation. So this is not becoming unnecessary burden. It will give us the ability to create meaningful decision points based reallocations and sustainability. It is the responsibility of the work of the county to make these decisions. This will help you to get the proactive mindset of what we need to keep instead of the reactive we need to have. If we fail to plan, we will be forced to make drastic and dire cuts in the future. This process is not going to be sustainability. This process is not going to be better. It will be up to you to ensure we drive forward on the scale. And in regards to spirit fund allocations, there was a 60-day turnaround, including holidays, weekends, time off, and training. The law is in, therefore, those that took their contracts have also been paid. And then I have two zone reports that we refer to under the zoning department. One, zoning PNG management in the one to R2, and one Linda Rogers in electrical to zone location R1. And there are three commendations. The first one is for Jim Diamonds. And this comes from his daughter, Amy Wolf. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, to take tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He is not set up to be a leader, but becomes one where the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. He started his career as a police officer, but didn't stop there. He attended and graduated from FBI National Academy, earned another chief executive sheriff's office, and continued working as special investigator for the district attorney's office. You continue to make our community a better place. See some of its darkest aspects daily. You put your badge on every day and sacrifice more than most in the United States. The knowledge experience and standards that in your 55 years of serving the county of Winnebago over 100%. Your professionalism will not and your legacy will live on with those who have mentored. Congratulations, you have had your girls and only dream. And the returns are Jim Diamonds worked for the sheriff's office for 32 years and he retired and spent 22 years at the district attorney's office. It is difficult to imagine the county without the combination for each of his Winnebago County careers. Jim's connection is always making things done a little easier and even until the case office. Jim was known to go beyond his job requirements, including the county records. Behavior was the fish. Offensive. Jim was an absolute fixture and was historic. We have a combination for Carrie Yolenkamp. In her time with the court's office here, she was feminist. She accepted her service. She maintained her composure even if the person on the other end of the phone was angry and swearing. She took really hard responsibility, seeing thousands of payments, bond payments, department payments, and was crucial to receiving the millions of collected by our state agency. Jerry was an integral part of the financial division and administrator. Now we have a combination for Sarah Berry. Sarah services in the Winnebago County for the past 13 years. She began her career as sheriff's officer early to the first. She was promoted several times, only her appointment to the clerk court on November 3rd, 2021, and she was elected by the citizens the following year. She stepped down as the and it is appropriate for the one who will board to register the laws and take it pursuant to constitutional officer. Sarah, with her upbeat and attitude that gentleman without emotion, she will be necessary with the economy. Sincere appreciation and commendation is committed to Terry Bear.
Or from committees, commissions, and board.
Like to go to the microphone?
Sure. Yes, you can go ahead and call in the. Go right ahead.
This is the mic here.
Yes.
Yeah. It's.
Hi, I'm Tom Swan, Winnebago County Supervisor, District 14, and the consortium chair of the Fox Cities trustees. Well, I mean, this is a very serious matter regarding our campus at Fox Cities. We're going to be having a monthly meeting of the trustees on the 29th of July this month, and there'll be presentations given at the meeting by entities within Fox Cities campus. And those entities include the Barlow Planetarium, the White Science Museum, University Children's Center. Scott Schaefer, Terry B, and Jessica Augustin will be there to give presentations, as well as Communication Arts Center. There's actually going to be one addition that may be not on the agenda posted, but added as an amendment. So we will also have the ability to have campus updates from university officials and university director. I mean, not university officials, excuse me, county officials and county directors. Okay. And so, can I answer questions?
Are there any?
And where is the meeting?
Meeting will be at 1 o'clock at the UW5 Cities campus. Thanks. Hmm? 29.
Any other? So thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Better forward.
I have two quick announcements. I don't think it's speak for the whole county board, but I congratulate Sheriff John Mox and his detectives, especially Detective Lieutenant Chris Bryan, on solving the 61-year-old unsolved murder of Nina resident Wayne Pratt. Congratulate them. And piggybacking on Supervisor Swan's announcement, I attended a performance of the UWO Fox Cities Theater called Silent Sky by the Attic Theater Company. It's a story of 3 women in 1900, and one was from Wisconsin, who worked as computers measuring and mapping stars. And it's still in performances July 17, 18, 19, and 20 at 7 p.m. and the 21st at 2 p.m. I highly recommend this performance. Thank you.
Just to let you know, the task force committee is well underway. I believe that the task force committee is well underway. We are finding out that this is a little more involved and detailed than maybe initially thought. I just really want to encourage every board member, if you can, to please drop into the meetings, either in person or Zoom. If there are any rules that you think need to be looked at or changed, please reach out. I'm looking at absolutely everything as committee chair. There are rules that are being presented that I think are great and wonderful. There are those that I think, I don't know, but I think it's important to discuss that. So just asking that everyone would please give us their input when they see something that, you want to discuss. Thank you.
We have a question here for you.
Not a question.
Oh, that's where, okay, and it's like, one of the meetings.
The last meeting was yesterday. There is another meeting. Please help me out. Supervisor Dowling. It's on August,
August sixth at
Tuesday, August sixth, 4:30 PM, room 120. At the Albert Building.
Thank you. Supervisor Nell.
Didn't really need the mic, I just wanted to get up here and show off the sovereign state flag and tell everybody sovereign states and Winning County this weekend. Also, at the Land and Water Committee, we had a little bit of discussion on the Sawyer resolution, and I believe there was a little confusion as to what we were talking about when we were talking about wake boats at the last meeting. So that's why I put picture on everybody's desk. Don't have an issue that Oshkosh was actually promoting them. I think there's a lot of problem with people not knowing just how much damage they can cause. They look fun and neat, but they certainly cause an issue. So we're talking about wake boats, not wakeboards, totally different thing. So thank you.
Anyone have, Vice Chairman Barr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to make everyone aware, next land conservation committee meeting, which is scheduled for August 1st, will be held at the village of Winnebago. We're going to conduct a meeting and then recess and do a tour of a conservation practice of break. This is going to be facilitated by Supervisor Nelson, furnishing a pontoon boat. Certainly open to the public. If they would like to attend, certainly do our best.
Supervisor Dowling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not sure. Feelings, I need to important to have me standing up here. Not important enough. All the committee, commission, task force meetings used to be posted on YouTube for the public to watch for the last 2 years. That hasn't happened from April because they're all lasted plus now, but I'm not sure the public's aware of that. I don't know if we could still keep posting them on YouTube. That would be appreciated. If not, I understand. Thank you.
Any other board member? Board member? Okay, and then board member. Excuse board members tonight is Supervisor Lux, Senator in the bureau. Oh. Lutz. Lutz, check, I get the wrong straight. Been here, bureau. Oh, they're going to be that excuse, they just had a little thing there. I do want to thank, Supervisor White for seeing the Fourth of July and Sheriff Mott for reading the Declaration of Independence. Very well. Those of you that come, you missed it, it's always very good. We do appreciate that. And last Thursday night, those of you that were there, the town association treated any of you that wanted to come to a picnic. They had cheeseburgers, hamburgers, hot dog rocks. And there's delicious baked goods there, so your husband's cheering over there. But anyways, so that was very nice. I want to thank you. And I did say that we have to keep working with all the town associations. They agree that we have to be working together. So, that's all that I have on that. County board. What I have here is I got some calls. Matter of fact, the first one was right after the meeting. Then I got some calls, emails, and all of that. It seems to be like there's talking going on, or meetings going on. There's even some swearing going on, or meetings going on. And, you know, we shouldn't be even tapping it. If
no matter what we are, nothing different, or whatever we are. It's something we couldn't do, we're all in this together, all of them goes together. Just think that we should go ahead and be all together and work together, and what is a big feel about that, but I do think, like, there's been a lot of talking going on afterwards. And you might not think that it's about the person ahead of you or behind you or whatever, but you are. And I've already heard that somebody's swearing on this side, they heard it over on this side. When people don't think maybe, let's say, damn, or something worse than that, but then words carry on over. And maybe we don't hear, they hear it in the background. So we do not need this kind of thing going on in the court. So, like some of you called up and it was just you, not no one person, whole board. Take a look at themselves and we'll all work together until we get through it, wasn't full member, new member, agreement. Not to try on that. My last thing is somebody brought up about a possible tour in October. What did it cost us, $100 and some dollars last time for having to right, to eat and everything, the bus.
The bus was like 100 and stuff.
The bus was 100 and some plus the eat and anyways. So there wasn't that many on. You want to go ahead and you want to have on my tour and I'm going to say, well, I can't make it the daytime, so it's going to have to be 3 o'clock. If you guys remember that, but also John, you're one that talk. There's some excitement that it's that we weren't going to do. So if you got any comments on this, is what this is the time to do it. So
it was a question. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up.
everything up.
It was, that's just not.
I know, it was good, but I'm just saying, do we want to do it again? We'll have to have 3, 4 o'clock, and then we're going to have people that work, but we're also going to have to sit.
That would be my question. Are we making it more difficult on the people who are trying to learn about the place we're trying to learn about if they're going to stay long?
They would have
Because
to,
if we started at say 3 o'clock. We could do it.
well, that's when we can start at 8:30 and we get done at 12:30 when we work, and at 1 o'clock. So, it all depends.
Yeah. The whole purpose that I brought it up was because if people can't make the first one, hopefully they make the second one, maybe we can see some things that we couldn't see during the summer.
So my question is, how many you come to it before? 1, 2, 4. So we can plan for it in, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Yeah, we can bus and everything. 3, everybody make it at 3 o'clock, we set up at the 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Everybody make it at 3 o'clock? Okay. Yeah.
So, probably, but stuff that we couldn't see in summer that we can see all.
We'll try to make it even different places. It's nothing against the sheriff, but we visit the sheriff. This year already with their report, so we'll try and do a different ones and let's see if something different. We'll try to go to different places that we have again. So, go by the powers.
Appreciate it. It was a tour my first year at 16, and we went, I think it was in Winnebago, it was a business we had loaned money to, they paid it off, they borrowed more money, they paid it off, they increased the size of their business. I found it interesting the way county money was being circulated into the community. I think it's interesting something like that. It's not a community building, but they borrowed money, paid it off, borrowed money, paid it off.
So we talked to IDB committee also, some of that money has become IDB in that. See if there is a business that would be open to us coming in and doing something like that.
Thanks.
Suggestions, see if you're starting it later, maybe schedule places where we have county staff on hand at the beginning of it, and then towards the end of it, maybe do more of those drive. See, we drive by the buildings and. Well,
that we donated money to them for their building. Places we can drive by and take a look at, move on where we're not, I don't need to stay later for more, just something like that.
Something like that, maybe we can say it, that one is good.
Right, something we're not, maybe say, no, they're talking home.
Okay.
It's not good.
Good. Well, if enough of you with interest, we'll get one going and, after we'll apply. Good, thank you. All right. All that I really had on my mind. Presentation, 2024 Winnebago County Fair, Novak, Winnebago County Fair, look at the guy. In order.
Hello, my name is Lexi Hill. I'm from Swedish District 36, and I am the County Fairs for the fair. Now, some of you might be asking what is the fair? It's a marketing internship position that works with the county fair to promote it and to support it. And it is a beautiful position where you get to interact with the local community and be able to share the county fair and all of its positivity with the community. So I recently through the county fairs at 24H in about 6th grade, and my favorite thing was showing at the fair. I did photography and sewing, and it helped me become more confident in myself and my hobbies. And I really wanted to become fairs because I have a passion for education and supporting youth in their hobbies and passions. So I applied for fairs, and I'm very happy that I was able to have this position to support other local youth. Personally, I really enjoy reading and sewing and all those hobbies, and I'm actually going to be a teacher in Oshkosh this upcoming year. I just graduated from college. I'm really happy to say that this is the 169th Winnebago County Fair this year. That's an incredible number. When I asked how many fairs we've had, I did not know that it was going to be that old, and I'm so happy to be able to continue being a part of this wonderful tradition. So I really wanted to say thank you. The support that you guys give to the fair means that we can keep our ticket prices low and have it be accessible to as many community members as possible. The ticket prices actually only cover half of the cost of the fair. The rest comes from grants, community sponsors, and fundraising done by the fair board. The other thing that it does is showcase our local agriculture community. It is a community that works very hard for our people, and it's great to be able to show them off and be able to have the community acknowledge them and be proud of our wonderful agriculture community. The other thing it does is youth groups like FFA, 4-H, and the Scouts are able to showcase their education programs and their talents. So the fair is not just about showing the animals with the best lunch, photography. There's a lot of educational programs that actually get shown. There's a lot of equestrian education, veterinary education. We have essays that get entered, engineering with Legos, and a lot of stuff like that. And I think that is very cool. I get a little giddy about it sometimes. The thing we have 131 youth who are going to show animal and non-animal, which is up from last year. It totals about 5,137 entries. So I do want to invite all of you to come to the county fair this year. In your packets, you received invites for the Winnebago City employee, which is Friday, August 2nd. You also got information in the mail about judging barn herdsmanship. You will get into the fair for free if you choose to do that, and you can come check out all the really cool hard work that Babies does. If you have any more questions about that, you can ask the judge. So for this year is Endless Adventures, which is a new show. It is for special needs youth in the community, and they'll be showing paths with the assistance of other youth who are showing as well. That is going to be Friday night, August 2nd. The other thing that we have is the small fry. So children ages 4 to 8 who aren't quite old enough to be able to show animals on their own are able to show paths along with the assistance of older youth. We also today have a new event, which is magic shows, which are stationary and are traveling throughout the fair. There'll be about 2 to 3 throughout the day roaming the fair. And personally, what I'm really looking forward to is not only seeing all the beautiful things that the local youth has to show, but also the grandstand shows. So unlike other fairs, our fair tickets actually include grandstand shows. So anyone who comes is able to go. Everything is involved in one daily admission ticket. And our grandstand includes tractor pulls, 2 of them, a county one and a state one. We have a rodeo and we have a demolition derby. I hope I will see all of you at the fair. I will be there every day. If you see me, please come say hi. I'm going to be running around a little bit, but I'm really excited.
So I'm Jody with Iowa, and I sit on the board of directors for the Winnebago County Fair. I have a couple of roles with them, and one of them is marketing coordinator, so I get to work with the young, wonderful young ladies that we get through the fairs with the fair program, as well as other older youth that help us promote the fair. Before you get from much longer ago than likely. So that's kind of how I got interested in the fair, and I've been serving on the board of directors for years. Just while we're here, I'll give a very quick overview of how the county fair is set up. We are run by the Winnebago County Fair Association. It is a nonprofit organization that's separate from the county. We are governed by ECTP 160 of the state legislative code, and DACCAP is the agency that oversees that, offers us helps with any regulation of that. And then we also in this county are very gracious, and let's say already thank you for your support as well. We have the support of the county here, and we really, really appreciate that. So here in Winnebago County, we also report to your Ag and Extension Committee to keep them up to date on the things that we're doing with the county fair, because we have some financial connections to your group. So our board of directors does consist of 19 directors. We currently have 3 open positions and 16 active directors. Our board of directors is what we have been referring to as a working board. Not only are we the leadership, but we also are the staff of the fair, in addition to other volunteers that help us out during the fair week itself. So just again, another big thing for the financial support. In the last 5 years, you've really been a crucial part of helping the fair get back on its feet after and really helped us grow. Prior to COVID, we had some weather events that really put us in a position where we were struggling financially. Since then, we've been able to grow attendance at the fair by about 30% in the last 5 years. And we've really been focusing on increasing the family entertainment and opportunities for family to participate in the fair. So that's been one of the areas that we've really worked on, a lot of growth. We have not had to raise our ticket prices for quite a while, well before COVID. But we've been able to increase the amount of things a family can do at the fair. So really working on the value. If they're spending money to come to our community event, they can spend the whole day and get some value out of that. The other thing I want to quickly touch on is just to thank all of you who also volunteer your time. You have several opportunities for that. Like we mentioned, the barn herdsmanship, again, you should have received information in the mail about that opportunity. As I was coming in the past, we've had an opportunity for a community judge to judge our youngest youth. Unfortunately, that is something that has changed in our structure this year. So we aren't able to have a few folks come out to judge. We're going to really miss that. We're looking at how we can incorporate that again next year. But if anybody wants to come and be greeters or welcome you on our judging days or any days of the fair, we always welcome you to come out and see what's going on. A couple of other opportunities. We are hosting the Oshkosh Chamber of Commerce has an AM Oshkosh event. We are hosting that on Wednesday morning of the fair. So that group will be out to the fair to get a tour and some information on how we're organized. But you're all welcome to come out to that morning as well. I think Lexi touched on all our others. If you do come out to the fair, you can usually find me in our office, which is located in the main expo hall. We're always happy to give one-on-one tours and answer questions and talk you through what's all going on out there that day from any of the event. Join us.
Question,
Supervisor Howard.
Jody, Supervisor Conley and I have judged before together, we're gonna do barns, do we need to call and let you know which days, which barns we intend to be the judges in, or just show up?
You can just show up for that opportunity, bring the letter that's in that packet with you, and you'll need to show that like at the admission gate when you're coming in, and then just be aware that, and I think the information lists that they list the days the kids are judging. So like, for example, our dairy kids are being judged on Wednesday. They're not gonna be in the barns very much, so they won't be there, to talk to and interact with. So, make sure that you're just picking barns that aren't actively judging on the days that you come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Can you tell me how many, are all the places you've been already this year, just promoting the fair? I think they'd be very surprised to find out we're all going. We'll jump. We got,
Currently, I'm a student in parades. I was in the walk hog parade. I was in the lights, the third, the fourth, and the orange and the off-road parade. Memorial Day, and the Memorial Day. I will be in the summer state parade this upcoming weekend. So I'm very excited. I've been doing multiple radio ads. I will eventually go on to do a TV ad, and throughout the year, my career does not end at fair. I'm actually going to come in April, and I will be doing visits to schools, other youth programs, and other agricultural programs throughout the year to support them.
You say you're start teaching in the fall?
I will be starting to teach in the fall.
At which school?
West.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Okay, next will be the Connected Urban Program, Improving Safe Street Initiative, Human Service Department.
All right, well, good evening, and before we get started with the presentation, which I promise is going to be, we can do it in 20 minutes. So, but before we get started with that, I do want to let you know about two things. One, there are two different handouts that we included in your packets. We're only going to be talking about the foam colored descriptions of each of the programs that we're going to be discussing tonight. We're not going to talk about the blue colored form. And the reason we aren't is because I concur with the sheriff who spoke earlier. There are two pie charts in that blue colored form that are not accurate. They do not reflect accurately information on one of our programs we talked about tonight. So I want to say that I take responsibility for that. I should have looked at it closer before it went into the packets. And I would appreciate it if you would just disregard that information. We'll be getting more information on data later, probably in the year, so that's what we work on. But I do want to sincerely apologize to the sheriff tonight and to all the people in law enforcement who actually did much greater work than that. So please disregard that, that it's not accurate. And I take responsibility that I should have looked at this report in there. So just wanted you to know, we are just going to be talking about the two, I believe they're kind of a foam colored green, and they just list off 11 different programs that we refer to collectively as Connect. But Connect is not a program, it is just an array of essentially version programs that have been asked of us and human services to work together with many different players, judges, the DA's office, sheriff's department, the safe streets committee. So we are going to introduce folks with me in a minute, and we will get into the program. We'll go very quickly. So again, thank you to Chair Egan and to members of the company board tonight for allowing us to speak with you on the topic of the connected way of diversion services in Winnebago County. With me tonight is Heather Faust to my left, and I will be introducing her in a minute. She is the Behavioral Health Services Manager for the department, and Amy Jeffers, who's the Connect Program Supervisor. They will each be doing a portion of tonight's presentation. We were asked by the Human Services Board and the company executive to give you a very brief snapshot of these programs, which are, as a group, meant to divert persons with substance abuse and mental health issues in the criminal justice systems away from prosecution and jail time in exchange for their adherence to a treatment or recovery program. Back in 2005, those of you who were around at that time in the company created a criminal justice advisory council, which was named as the Safe Streets Committee, made up of a number of folks like judges, DA, law enforcement, attorneys, probation and parole, county board members, county executive, and myself. This committee over the years has requested or approved most of the services we're going to talk about tonight. And starting with the drug board, which will be the first topic. Right. And although Human Services has the responsibility in the budget to staff these programs and provide treatment and other services, most of the ideas for these programs or the design of these programs, or even the responsibilities are with the judges, the DA's office, and the sheriff, and approved by past governments. These are not mandated programs from the state or feds, and do not come with revenue to support them, like in most cases. The total budgetary cost of running the 11 programs we're going to be talking about tonight is $1,122,038, which includes $346,967 in tax levy, and pays for 9 staff involving 1,160 individual cases across all of those different programs. Over the past 5 years, the department has had to add additional programs, staff, and equipment without additional new levy to pay for the increasing costs of these programs. And rather than cut the program, the county executive included $496,076 of opioid settlement money to keep the programs going. Okay, so Heather Faust, over the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be walking you through a quick review of each of the programs, highlighting its purpose, and to let you know about the numbers of people going through that program. If you will keep track of your questions while we go through each one, we would like to answer your questions at the end. That helps us stay on track with time. Following Heather, we have Amy Jeffers, who will tell us about 2 cases of actual clients who experienced this program and the success that those individuals have found in those programs. So now I'd like to introduce you to Heather Faust, Behavioral Health Services Manager, and here's her.
So thank you, everyone. So again, Bill was telling you we're gonna talk a little bit about the form that was in the packet. I'm not gonna go through and repeat all of the same information that's in there. I'll put a brief synopsis of each one. So our first program that we have developed is the drug. And it's a sentencing option for those with a non-violent felony who otherwise be sentenced to prison. So there are 4 phases to the program that consist of individuals attending treatment court. They first start off by attending on a weekly basis, and then they move to a monthly basis for that until they graduate or complete it. Since the inception of the program in 2006, there have been 172 graduates. So far in 2024, we've had 39 participants and 7 graduates. Next program that I'll discuss is our teen court. That's for adolescents that have received a citation. The program is a court system where they're heard in front of a jury of their peers, and then there's a volunteer judge that sentence as well. And usually they receive a sentence of some volunteering within the community. In 2024, we've had 32 in the team work. We also have a DHS diversion. These are referrals from the district attorney's office and to assist individuals in obtaining resources and treatment for mental health concerns or substance use concerns and getting them linked to any services or treatment that they need. The goal for this is to reduce any reoffenses. We also have the jail reintegration program, and this program's been around since 2019, and that is as human service staff within the Winnebago County Jail. That provides us for individual and group treatment related to substance use. They're also working to assist individuals with reintegrating back into the community. The other program we have over there is we have substance use counselors that are designated to work with individuals in diversion programs. And what they're doing is they're providing assessments, treatments for individuals, providing some group work, and then for all those that are enrolled in diversion programs on an outpatient basis. Our other goal is to be able to provide that same day treatment for individuals when they're ready to receive services or treatment. We find that we need to meet with them right away so that they don't lose interest in receiving services or treatment. So by this year, we have served 137 individuals for that program. We have peer support specialists that's integrated in the diversion program. This is a person that has lived experience, provides coaching, mentoring, group facilitation, and advocacy for those in our diversion programs. The individual is able to connect to the participants on a different level, and that helps strengthen their desire and interest in receiving treatments and services. We have a 24/7 drug. That's a bond condition that's ordered by the court due to drug-related charges. Participants in this program have take a drug test every other day and to show that they're compliant with the program and not continuing to use drugs. And then this information is used then for distribution. In 2024, there were 176 participants. There is the SOAR program, which is a program from the district attorney's office where participants are referred first in their phase 1 as a bond condition against the 24/7 drug. If the participants aren't successful in that phase 1, they then move to phase 2, where they continue to have regular drug testing that's in there. But we also present the backgrounds on more. They have weekly check-ins with the SOAR team that consists of participants from the district attorney's office, human services, and typically for Commissioner Hayward. So we have the 24/7 alcohol program, which is also a bond condition ordered by the court to alcohol-related charges. In this program, the participants have a remote practice. They go in 2 or 4 times a day to show if they have been consuming any alcohol. In 2024, we've had 219 participants in this. We have the Safe Streets Resource Team, which we call SSRT. This is a program that's intended for individuals to receive services of the system and take direct law enforcement. It allows the individuals that may need these same services to get that same access without having to go through the entire process. In 2024, we had 19 individuals. Our newest is that we're starting is a mental health. It's an diversion program that will target those with significant mental health struggles and pending legal charges. We are finished up with all the policy procedures and handbooks, and there is a training later this week where they're going to be learning more from the state of Wisconsin Criminal Justice Council regarding the standards that are used for this program. And here is Amy Jeffers to share a couple stories. Hi there. The first story I will focus on is the past 30% alcohol client. Just a reminder, 20% alcohol is a bond condition through the courts for individuals required to blow
user advice for time today to ensure they are not drinking while on the program. A client came to our 20% program for their board operating while intoxicated. They entered the program, they didn't think alcohol impacted. They were professional business owner, and they're doing an after work, and it never really impacted their life. With the help of 20% alcohol, case managers, individual sessions with our substance use counselor, and one-on-one with our peer support specialist, they have now maintained sobriety for an effective duration of a year and a half. The achievement was possible because they were able to acknowledge the issue and was provided they successfully transformed perspective on their drinking habits. The second story is about a former participant of drug court that successfully remained substance free for 3 years because of their participation in drug court. The client was facing serious prison time due to the preliminary fentanyl. The client spent most of her life in and out of jail, mainly for drug-related charges. Today, they're an integral part of the local recovery community, consistently contributing to the community through speaking engagements and service work. They make it required to recovery check-in with their staff, updating us on how they're doing in their progress. This practice is a crucial component of the recovery plan, and it helps them stay on the path to sobriety. They view our facility as a safe haven and a place full of support and caring individuals. Thank you.
Okay, we knew we went through that fast, and we just wanted to make sure that we stay true to our time, and if you have questions, we're more than willing to address.
Numbers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a question for Heather. When you said that people who are in the 24/7 program, they are going to be tested every other day, where do they go for that?
So we have a contract with Actions, and they come right to the marketing building on the first floor. That takes place there Monday through Friday, then it's at the sheriff's department on Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. By the hands.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Topol, thank you for the presentation and everyone that came. Breaking really quickly, I want to go over numbers with you. You mentioned at the onset that it was about 1.128 million and 346,000 was the tax levy. What I really want to get to is the 496,000 in the opioid settlement money. I have been involved in the opioid settlement money, not only in this county, but all across the country. I'm deeply concerned about how that is going to go moving forward. So based on these numbers, I'm assuming that means you have about 400,000 in other grants. What I'm worried about in moving forward is relying on opioid settlement money that just may not come. What is the backup plan? As I listened closely to the comments from the county executive, and I understand you want to expand it, but I need to understand how we're paying for it, especially if the money's not coming.
Well, I do share your concern. I would agree with you that the amounts that are supposed to be coming from the opioid settlements are not coming to the county at the right times and the right amounts that stated to us. And so we all have a concern about that. I look at Paul because Paul and I talked about that as well. I'm not certain where the amounts are going to be year in and year out. So I will say in the short run, we would not try to expand usage of the opioid funds as best we can hold the line. If we start to run short on the opioid fund side, there is a little ability in my budget and operations to move some money where we may be saving money in another category. We may be able to move some of that money in to help us with that particular year. So I guess my answer to you would be is even if we would be expanding, which I'm not sure that we would be expanding at this point, but even if we were to do that, that I would try to hold as best we can on the line on the opioid funds and do as much as we can on the third-party collections. There is some ability for us to get some Medicaid revenue for certain people with certain conditions and under certain conditions. So I'm going to be looking for third-party revenue. I'm going to be trying to hold the line on opioid settlement funds and and try to keep the programs running. It is also true that we are looking at, all of our programs in the county, trying to determine, the priority of how important each one is. And if one or more of these programs ends up being determined to be less important, well, then you need to consider what we're gonna do. End it or modify the program or, I'm answering your question.
You are actually, hope that doesn't happen. I don't have any problem expanding. I am just worried because I've seen in court cases, some of the smaller companies that have been fined for not paying into what is scheduled to pay, and because of the law firms are no longer even trying to collect. Don't know how that's gonna go moving forward. So, there's so many that you mentioned, possibly Medicaid.
Yes, Medicaid.
I don't want to see anything.
Correct. We're keeping an eye on, we want to hold line on the current programs unless it's determined by all of you that, certain programs are good.
Okay.
So what if people are in this program and they live in National or I don't know, and they need drug testing now?
We can accommodate them. The options we contract with actually has a place up in Appleton, and then we actually work with their insurance. They are on the insurance. They have, transportation that's available to them, and we work with the city.
Last one. Mr. Chairman, so I wonder if you could speak to the numbers on the 24/7 drug program and the SOAR program. Do you believe these programs are reducing drug use countywide? Are there any numbers to talk about? And, do you believe the harm reduction machines will have an impact on this? Related, they help.
So the last piece that you just said about harm reduction is not in my department and I can't answer to what you're asking.
Can you speak to the numbers on these two programs, where they are, historically, regarding what you project going forward? Drug use to it,
I am going to refer to Heather or Amy to say, so if I get your question right, you want to know if 24/7 programs and SOAR program are having
positive impact.
a positive impact on reducing usage. Thank you.
I don't have all the numbers with me as far as what the full recidivism rate is. That's something we're actually working with other departments, including the district attorney's office and sheriff's office, to make sure that we're all data the same way and looking for the same outcomes and measurements. But I can tell you that the amount of people that are coming in, we are seeing an increase in that volume of referrals for that bonds condition from the courts. Anybody that comes in through the 24/7 program or actually any of our programs, we're doing a needs assessment for them and working with the district attorney's office to ensure that we're getting all of the data that they need as well. And then in that needs assessment, if we're finding that they have housing concern kind of across the board, but if they have that housing need, how can we get them linked to services? Or if they need job coaching or job skills education, we're trying to get them linked to those other services so that they can get those needs met in an attempt to reduce services.
So just want to follow up. Do you have an idea of the age distribution of the people who are coming into your program?
I do not have that information with me.
Supervisor Ryan? Yeah, just kind of in general, along those lines, which of these programs would you say is probably the most effective? And maybe which one has the most room for growth?
It's hard to say which one is most effective because they're serving different. They're not other programs serving exactly the same person in the same way. So which is the most effective? I can tell you the one that's been about the longest drug court, and the effects of that program have been well documented. I would say of all of our programs, I think we would agree that we think that that one is the most effective for, it was created a long time ago and it actually is the most well-developed of all our services. As you can hear from us, some of these programs are relatively new. And again, we do them in conjunction with judges, the DA's office, sometimes the sheriff's office. So they're putting the programs together because they believe that this service group is actually going to make a difference for. So we are sort of the boots on the ground. We actually create the service array for them and do that piece for them, but we're not the ones that create them or believe that we're going to determine that in our continuing work together to kind of rate them as accurately as possible. So I will give you a better answer to this question 6 months from now. So maybe a budget time.
Glad you're on.
Help us understand the scope of need for programs like this. Looking at the county's population, what % of our residents require this support?
Good question, and I don't have an accurate answer for you because different people survey it differently. I can only tell you that we have every year since I've been here, 18 years, every one of our service areas has gone up. The demand for service has gone up. 5-10% is not unusual in a given year. And as service providers in the community struggle, we do more work. And the reason we do more work is because there's, if other private entities go under, we need to pick up the slack. If they're hooked up, we get the overflow. So there's no shortage of work. And do I think that all of our needs are addressed? No, I think we're finally starting to recognize that more and more people, even if they have mild mental symptoms or mild drug or alcohol use issues, are finally starting to realize even those mild conditions can have a huge negative impact on their families and their work. And so the more we can get out any array of services here, I think we're going to have a healthier community, a stronger community, and people that are able to function. And that is.
Right,
I was wondering, so you said that you guys are developing the mental health work that is ground approximately.
But I didn't hear the last.
Mental health work. The active approximately.
The answer for that is as soon as we have a participant that we feel is ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We might. Dr. Cole, you had said that these programs are not really integrated with each other. That's what I should have heard. And I'm wondering if that's because the folks who need care are coming in like trying at different times. Or do you see maybe some of the folks from the drug court and somewhere in the 20%?
The reason that they're not integrated is they're integrated because they all serve the common purpose of keeping folks from having to enter the legal system or experience jail. The reason that they're different is because they were created at different periods of time for a very specific purpose at the time. And then when another need arose that wasn't quite being addressed by the first program, which was drug court, then another program was designed by the DA's office, the judges, in some cases the sheriff's area, to address that need that wasn't already there. So we couldn't just expand one program into a huge singular program. We needed to keep the programs separate, but still they're integrated because they're all together in the same space. And they talk amongst themselves and they refer to each other's programs depending on the needs of that particular person.
And follow up to that, now that they've expanded into multiple programs, do you also as a staff look at, is there a way that address shrink those and maybe find common denominators within those efficiencies or in whether it's resources?
Yes, the short answer is yes, we do. We do an elaborate process to do that, not as much. And I think that's something where we could grow in that area, doing more analysis of how we could merge the programs over time. We've pretty much kept them separate because they have separate legal responsibilities and separate, not so much separate treatment outcomes, but separate legal responsibilities within each program. So we have to kind of keep them a little bit separate. We can't put them all together. But I do agree with you that we do need to keep looking for ways in which we can share stuff, which we have done. So one staff may only not be working in just one program. They may be working in 3 or 4 different areas at the same time. That's one of the ways to, utilize staff better across.
Yeah, a couple of lab, get rolled up here pretty soon. Just about up.
Yeah.
Could I just, this is small, this is the police department. Just make an announcement, please, about the wheelchair wash on August 2nd, August 10th.
Okay, real quick, wheelchair watch. For those of you who don't know, there is a service that's really lacking in the community, and that is people who have to be in wheelchairs all the time. Very seldom get a chance to get their wheelchairs cleaned. So it was determined that we would, as a department, sponsor a wheelchair watch. We've done now for several years in a row. Mike Norton, past board member here, was very instrumental in getting that going. It's going to be August 2nd.
No, August 10th.
Sorry, August 10th. It's in downtown Oshkosh at JNR Auto.
10 to do.
10 to noon. And you're more than welcome to come over. You could be one of our celebrities, and we'll be glad to give you some gloves and a brush and get you going. Because folks, they get their wheelchairs washed, they get a free meal, there's music, and we're just glad to provide that as a free service. So,
Thank you. Everybody wants to go out. Okay, we're on our consent agenda. Yes, Vice Chairman Party.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wish to withdraw 2 items. Consent agenda item number 7. Item number 8.
Right again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to remove item.
Yeah, the one. Right now.
Yeah, I'd like to hold the number 6 resolution.
Yeah. Okay, I'm open for a motion on the consent agenda, all except for 5, 6, 7, and 8. So. Motion made second to the consent agenda, then 1, 2, or then 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we'll go right to number 5. Resolution 025-07-2024, nomination for Barry. Who wants
The rest of the items on. Or you could.
Oh.
There's no.
If I have motion for consent. Yes. Yeah, I have a second. You did.
I think. Okay.
You're thinking of 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Mhm.
Okay, number 5, resolution 025-07-2024, nominated Eric Barry. Who wanted that?
Order, should we vote on the consent agenda?
People just asking. We should do a hold on. Yes. Yes. Okay, all those in favor of the consent agenda, 11B, 5, 6, 7, 8, signify by saying aye. Those say nay. All on the page. Now, nominations for chair and mayor. Signify by saying
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to amend this, going on line 21, striking everything after the added to the end of the plan. Because any of us who dealt with Kara Berry understand that she did not have challenges without emotion. She cared. Wanted to know everybody that tell her, and when you say that without emotion, it seems like she did her job and didn't really care.
Can you make a motion to that? So open on the motion. Motion, your second. Second. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Will say nay. Nay. Ayes have it. Number 6, resolution 026, 07, 2024, any solid waste administration bill and conference.
If you want the amended motion on it. Resolution on.
Take it out, 24 to 21. 21 to what? Then there was, okay, can I just have
We got it back.
clarification? Did Supervisor Hims request lines 21 through 29 removed?
No, I want everything from the comma added to the end of the lot line. So then it will be material, came to the attitude will be missed today.
So in other words, you have to strike out tackle challenges without a motion sheet.
Attitude.
We read out the reading or we vote on it. Oh, it's going to read.
On line 21, I believe Supervisor Hims wants to have it read, whereas Tara, with her upbeat can-do attitude will be missed by Winnebago County.
For that.
Okay.
So we got a vote on the whole thing.
Yeah.
First you do the amendment, then you have to vote on the now therefore be it resolved.
And then already taken care. All in favor of that?
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chair. I think that was not the intent, that somehow she was, flat voting. Would it be better to say that she tackled challenges passionately? Would you be happy with that comment?
Well, we got motion made and seconded already gone through now.
I'll make an amendment.
So. We're already at the motion, so. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Say nay.
Okay.
Nay. Number 6. Resolution 06, 07, 2024, naming solid waste administration building, conference room for Patrick O'Brien. Environmental.
All that is, I think, game and building is pretty big deal, and I realized there was a resolution for Patrick O'Brien. But I believe before we vote on this, would either like to read this resolution in its entirety or the clerk read it in its entirety. Having worked with Pat for 12 years, we're only at 7:30. I think we've got time to do him the honor of reading the resolution.
Point of clarification. The naming resolution is just for the conference room, not for the building.
Just the conference room, not the whole building.
Correct. Yep.
This.
And which he was a part of helping design and build.
The clerk said that's the beginning.
That would be great. Thank you.
This is resolution 026, 07, 2024. The Winnebago County Board of Supervisors, whereas Patrick O'Brien served on Winnebago County Board of Supervisors for over 25 years. And whereas And also served as one board advisor for over 15 years. And served as chairman of the Winnebago County Solid Waste Management Board for 31 years. And whereas his knowledge and wisdom as the Winnebago County Board member and County Board advisor has been extremely beneficial to the development of Winnebago County over the last 41 years. And whereas his knowledge and wisdom as a member of the Winnebago County Solid Waste Management Board has been extremely beneficial to cultivating solid waste executive partnership within our Brown, Orleans, and Winnebago County region, and statewide advocacy as an active member of various solid waste and recycling work groups for over 35 years. And whereas Patrick O'Brien passed away on November 30th, 2023, and has been honored by the Winnebago County Board of Supervisors in Resolution 30601/2024. And whereas it is also fitting and appropriate that the conference room in the Winnebago Solid Waste Administration Office be named in honor of Patrick O'Brien. Now therefore be it resolved, the Winnebago County Board of Supervisors, that the Winnebago County Solid Waste Administration Office be named the Patrick O'Brien Conference Room, respectively submitted by the Solid Waste Management Board and the Facilities and Property Management Committee.
Make a motion to pass resolution 026-072-024.
Motion made, seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Not hearing all in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, carried. Number 7, resolution 427/2024. The new staff of the Fox City NPO Policy Board Director and redesignation agreements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe this was referred by, would you like to bring it in or would you like me to address?
You go ahead, sir.
Okay, why don't you bring it in so we get it on the floor?
Supervisor Fogg.
Okay, I'm bringing consideration of resolution 027/07/2024. Second.
Motion made, seconded, no discussion.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have received a major concern specific to this resolution and the next one, just this one at a time. Specific to this one would be from the town of Neenah. If you read through this part of the document, the towns are only involved in advisory vote. Bear in mind, this NPO is a very serious, big money issue. And the reason they're only allowed in advisory vote is because they only need a population of 5,000 individuals. The argument for both this resolution and the next resolution, which is brought from the town of Oshkosh, Jim Bergman, chairman, the town of Neenah is Bob Schleicher, is that to add up the population of towns listed, they far exceed 5,000. Their point is quite simplistic and I believe accurate. They should be allowed at least one vote of their town elected. Based on that observation, and although many of this in this resolution, I move to refer this back to for further consideration and discussion with the towns in these separate regions.
Second. Made, seconded. Discussion? Discussion. Whoever know.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm on the park board and we have the presentation from East Central Regional Planning Consortium. The city of Neenah is allowed 2 votes. The city of Menasha is allowed 1 vote. We're also allowed a supervisor from Winnebago County to represent the board, as well as the other towns listed here. So that would include 1 vote for Fox Crossing.
I sort of agree absence from that.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? I should, refer back. Okay.
MPO was adjourned.
I see. Supervisor
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm concerned also because the towns have the lion's share of the highway infrastructure running through them. And I believe it's important for them to have a voice in the matter and not just an advisory voice. So I agree with
But
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Agreement Supervisor Fari said, and I need a distinction if I could, from someone on the Parks Committee, maybe Supervisor Dowling, about the differences. I'm not understanding. I thought I heard from Vice Chair Fari that they didn't have a vote, but Supervisor Dowling said yes, they do. Is that a clarification? What I meant.
Oh,
The advisory seats versus the voting seats are set by state statute. That is what it was explained to us in the Parks Department meeting by the Central. So that was my understanding.
My question is, thank you. In the paperwork, it says procedures that, must be passed by the city in July in order to have the county or the board committee say in it. If you pass it on back onto the highway department, is it? We make it known what. From our department.
I believe that to read further, the drop dead date using that term is September 3rd. Given the fact that obviously this could even come back to this board again, meaning we should be within that time.
I understand what Fari is saying on that, but if you look at the information on the voting seats, the Appleton, MPO, it's a voting. In the aspect, you have town launch. Towns are represented in the. You also have representatives from each of the towns that are going to be in an advisory seat. Having been on the NPO years ago, it's nice to have a seat at the table so you share your concerns and also make sure that you have the table. I think it's because you have the power.
I wanted to clarify for Supervisor Hanson that I believe what Supervisor Dowling was saying was that the city of Neenah had 2 votes and the city of Menasha had 1 vote, but that what Vice Chairman Fari had suggested was that the town of Neenah did not have a vote other than an advisory vote, and that was brought to you as a concern.
Yes, to clarify it further, and I appreciate the other comments specific to the town, but the town, Buchanan, is a population of over 6,000, so they're meeting the 5,000. What we have here is if you look at the rest of the towns and not the Abbott's and MPO, we have 9 towns. Collectively, those 9 towns far exceed 5,000, and you're not even given 1 vote. That is the concern of both the town and the town of Oshkosh with the MPO coalition. So they're saying that this is really not a fair situation, and they would like it readdressed. Primarily, we'll go through our highway committee, but East Central hopefully will be invited to that also. So we can get this clarified. But these MPOs, these policies last a long time. So I hope we can get it right and represent beyond corporate, the real rural communities of this country. Further request.
Budget up
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
and speak out loud.
Just to understand, maybe I'm not understanding. It says effective date and conditions of the agreement. This agreement is effective on September 3rd, 2024. After obtaining signatures by the governor and representatives of U.S. government with 75% of population in that MPO planning area, including Appleton as the largest incorporated city. So is that a drop by date or is that when it's supposed to go into effect?
I consider it to be about that. So obviously this board would have to respond so that we have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I would think that you could vary on our county board report, it's under federal regulations for the county board to be on record, the resolution must pass in July. Why is it included in our report?
I see that it says that in that report, but I also see that the backup material is dated May 6, 24, says that a deadline of September 3rd, 2024 has been established to complete the redesignation process. So given the fact that I'm looking at this East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission document, I would rely on that, because perhaps this was a typo.
Because it's becoming very confusing for people. As we're hearing.
No, I don't know. I didn't write this.
But not,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We, the supervisor are fired. But how are we gonna be able to amend this to give the Collins a vote or several votes to think about? Or is it?
The department. We had the chairman of the planning committee of the meeting, for the ones in July, so we can get this moving along quickly. Yeah, beautiful. These towns need to be heard. And the director of East Central. He can offer amendments or something that would be acceptable.
But what would be guiding would be the federal law.
Yeah, apparently I'm told. That there's different options that were offered to them, and there might be some flexibility there. It's my opinion.
I just wanted to thank Supervisor Nussbaum for raising what is the alternative to this? And if we can say collectively, if we add them all together, there's more than 5,000, but if we say everybody gets more than 149 people get to decide what's going to happen on that board. It seems like there's got to be a cut at some point.
Yes.
That would be there, and I'm interested to find out whether that's a statute issue or we have some facilities. So I look forward to hearing about this. Thank you.
So I guess where I'm confused about here, looking at the document here, 28 and 32. In there, the loose is fact that in terms of local elected officials only have to represent 75% of the effective population. That's by federal statute that's in this paragraph right here. It mentions that in a couple of different aspects, a couple of different ways, in accordance with the federal law. So if you look at this, I hear what you're saying. I understand the fairness aspect of this. But according to this regulation, let's not read it. This regulation clearly states they're only required to represent 75% of the voting population in terms of voting. So that's, I don't know what we're.
Within the MPO.
Right, I just don't know if we're barking the wrong tree here, trying to squeeze some people our votes out when the federal law indicates that you only need to represent 3/4 of the.
I think,
I think it's more question where you have some team breaking out and you said, oh, then we're getting any more questions. Do people that, do you want to answer first? Sure.
Okay. Is that okay?
Everybody going?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize, I said state statute before. It is, a code of the federal regulation. Title 23, Chapter 1, Subchapter E, Part 450, Subpart C, Section 310. There is a provision in here under item J to redesignate the MPO for voting purposes. But I'm not sure that we necessarily would be able to affect that on.
Or like it go?
I think my purpose is to at least, I believe we have at least one more meeting. To get back into this discussion. Any level. Certainly with the two towns that raised concerns. So we have a very definitive understanding of what the requirements are. But the flexibility within.
The paperwork that's out there, the question, July. I would like to make sure we got the right dates, we can follow that. We would have, sure, I would like to ask this gentleman and invite us in any way possible. You unmute your mic, please.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me?
Definitely.
Okay, good evening all. Craig Mosier, Deputy Director with East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning. And I think I can provide some clarity on the issue. So the supervisor that mentioned, per the federal law, the population that is required to be represented within the planning area is 75%. We have been in the process of working with all of the impacted municipalities in terms of engaging them on providing support for this new policy board structure. In essence, this provides additional input for all of the municipalities, including the towns that have an advisory seat, because the current structure is such that the commission's board, made up of officials from across our 10-county region, are making these decisions. So you have commissioners from Wapaka and Fond du Lac and Kashina making decisions about the urban planning efforts in the Appleton Fox Cities area and the Oshkosh area. This new structure allows for local elected officials within those urban areas to be at the table and part of those discussions. Again, the federal requirement per federal regs is that 75% of the population is directly represented by local elected officials. We have far surpassed that in both the Appleton Fox Cities and Oshkosh MPOs with resolutions of support from the impacted municipalities. So, for example, in Appleton Fox Cities, all of the municipalities, save for the town of Clayton, have passed resolutions of support, as has Outagamie County. In Oshkosh, the city of Oshkosh, the town of Black Wolf, the town of Algoma, and the town of Vinland have all passed resolutions of support. So again, well beyond the 75% threshold in terms of support from municipalities within that planning area. We are under a federal deadline from Federal Highway and Federal Transit of September 3rd. However, our board will be taking up the matter at their meeting in 2 weeks. And there is an additional step required because the governor is required to formally redesignate both of these policy boards prior to the execution of the redesignation agreement. So there are a number of steps. We've been working closely with outside legal counsel, with WisDOT, with Federal Highway and Federal Transit through this process. And that is where we currently are. Again, it's not a request from the federal government. This is a thou shalt. We don't have a choice in the matter. And so we tried to reach a balance in terms of proportionality and inclusion. And we felt it was important to give all of the impacted municipalities a seat at the table so they're part of the discussions. But we also recognize that you do run into issues if you have municipalities with a very, very small population having a vote. It kind of skews that proportionality balance. So that's where we arrived at the methodology using 5,000. It was also important because at some point in time after a future US Census, these urban areas may potentially combine. So we used the same methodology for both Appleton, Fox Cities and Oshkosh with that 5,000 population threshold. So I'm hopeful that provides some additional clarity and would be happy to address any questions.
I have one, paperwork here that seems to be to do things. In order to go through your paperwork and all of that, does it have to be in by July? Are you saying that September is okay? We have to have thing on East Central by July. Did you have a meeting in 2 weeks?
I apologize. The audio is difficult to hear. I think the question was the timing. Again, we've been working over the past 2 months on resolutions of support with all of the municipalities and counties in advance of the commission's board meeting next week, at which they will also consider the resolution of support, after which we'll have to package all of that up and send it down to Madison for the governor's consideration.
So in other words, we have to have this July board meeting, decision have to be made.
That would be our very strong preference at this point, given the federal deadline that we're under and the timing involved with the governor's action.
We couldn't go to August, what I'm saying, it would be one more month. For the Winnebago County, with one more month to get it into.
Right, and you know, that I don't think that would present an issue aside from the fact that we would likely submit all of the paperwork and the resolutions of support we've gathered thus far to the state, because I'm not entirely sure how long the governor's office will take to turn that around. And we are under that September 3rd deadline for the constitution of the new policy board.
The August meeting is August 20th. Yeah, August 20th.
You can't hear you very well, so.
I can hear me. Okay, can you hear me, sir? I certainly appreciate those comments, and specifically to the time frame here. Obviously, the concerns of the town are very valid, but I think their timing is given the circumstances as it is, I don't really know if there's much we can do here. So I guess the best thing for me to do at this point is withdraw the motion to refer to committee. I really don't.
Okay, one other question, Supervisor Gustafson, did you get in any of these discussions, being that, he is on their, all needed, consider. So, you can enlighten us on any of this?
Yeah, again, based off of exactly what Craig just said, timeline, again, getting into governor being obviously a little bit more of a time frame for him to work through rather than again, the conversation was had, especially around the population issue, in which again,
Fred, sorry, you got to reaffirm that the letter of support from all the entities within this, I mean, they're well beyond the 75% at this point. It's, again, it's giving them an advisory position within actually these NPOs is a significant step forward, at least for them to actually have those. So I would strongly recommend supporting both this.
I would rather.
Motion drawn on number 7. So go ahead. Any second to accept, any discussion? Discussion? Go ahead.
Hey, I'm sorry, I have 2 questions. I don't understand designation of fiscal agent, East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission became a fiscal agent. And then it talks about matching contribution from the county. I'm not sure that I'm really up on either of those 2. I'm looking at paragraph D on page 40. I don't understand what level or authority the Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission has to distributing these funds, and then I'm not sure I understand the matching, Winnebago County's responsible for matching contributions. And who determines that amount, and that's probably half of the question.
Okay, I will let Supervisor, Kettle answer. I'm going to tell you, as far as Central, we pay a lot of money in this one. And I will let Supervisor, you want to add anything on to there? Or?
I was only going to refer you to Craig and have Craig answer that.
Fred, did you hear the question?
I believe so. So I believe that what I heard was the question was the local match that the county pays into the commission. So as part of the annual budget process, our board approves a levy that is then shared amongst all of the member counties. And that will be an action that's taken at our board meeting here next week. Per state statute, we're required to provide that no later than July 1st. No later than August 1st. So our board sets the levy at their meeting at the end of July, and then levy letters are distributed to the member counties for your budget process so that you can incorporate that within the county budgets. A portion of that levy contribution that the counties provide to the commission is utilized for local match that's required with the federal funding from federal highway and federal transit for these planning efforts within the metropolitan planning areas. It's typically an 80-20 match. And so, you know, that local levy contributes that local 20% match to help support this programming within the urban area. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question for you. I don't know if you can answer it without the top of your head. Can you say what the legal owner's portion is from your budget? What we pay in approximately?
I probably could if you give me just a minute here, sir. I apologize. My VPN is not working, so I can't access that document, but I could certainly follow up with that very specific information.
Okay, I thought maybe you do the product.
It would be roughly, it would be under $200,000. I believe Outagamie County is the largest contributor, and they're at roughly $200,000 annually.
Yes.
Winnebago County in the 2023 local election amount is $170,375.
Thank you, Supervisor Gustafson.
Please call in number 80 also. Okay, I need a motion to accept number, resolution 02807/2024. Reporter? Yeah.
We didn't vote on,
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, so we have to vote on resolution 027/07/2024. Written for approval. Really after the fact that you didn't feel more structure and redesignation agreement. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Carried. Now I need a motion for resolution 028/07/2024. Motion made, seconded, any discussion? Hearing, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, carried. And open for adjournment.
Sir,
Yeah.
we made a decision a long time ago when we went to consent agenda that there were implementations for retirees who to read it out loud. Julie, did you read about Bill Rogers and Karen Wilkes?
Yeah. I wasn't getting that in there. Oh. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Yeah.